Hello, this is Captain Gary.
And this is Captain Shane, and we are the
DIY Boat Guys.
Hey, this is Captain Shane. I'm going to narrate what Gary and I are doing in this video. So we're working on Gary's trailer. We've got a lot of work that we've already done that we don't have video for, but what we're doing here is we're trying to bleed his trailer brakes. We have not replaced the master cylinder. We have replaced some other brake hardware. He was having some problems with his trailer brakes, and so you can see here that I'm in the back of the trailer. I was working with this bleeder screw here, this bleeder nipple, and right behind the disc here where the caliper is, and I am loosening this thing up. And what we should see here is under pressure we should see I should either hear air or should squirt some brake fluid should squirt out. But what you can see here is what happened is it was a little brake fluid was coming out, but it was just dripping. It really wasn't under pressure. So that was the first sign that something wasn't quite right. So we're using a ratchet strap here to compress the buddy brake here, and the second sign that something wasn't right was that when Gary released the ratchet strap, that brake actuator did not push out there. So he had to actually physically pull it out. And we tried that a few times and ultimately decided that something was wrong and we needed to take the brake actuator back off of the trailer, which is what you can see Gary doing here. He's taken those two pins out, and he's going to pull this whole brake actuator out that contains the master cylinder. And we're going to have a follow-up video where we finally get everything straightened out, and I'll show you in more detail how we take this thing out and how we put it back together and so forth. But what we ultimately did is we took the master cylinder out and we were trying to bench bleed this master cylinder. You can see us doing this here. I'm holding the end of the brake line in some fluid, some brake fluid in this cup here, and Gary is pumping the master cylinder. And we did actually end up getting brake fluid coming out of the master cylinder. So we thought that we may have had a blockage in the master cylinder. So off video here, we actually used some compressed air and blew it out. We got some brake fluid to squirt through the master cylinder, and we thought, well, maybe we had the problem fixed. So we put the master cylinder back together, that brake actuator back together, and here we are putting it back in the front of the trailer here. And we thought that we had solved the problem. We thought we just had some debris or something in that master cylinder that was interrupting the brake fluid. So here we are. You can see me in the back of the trailer again. We're trying to bleed again. This time instead of using a ratchet strap, Gary's under there with a screwdriver, kind of pumping the piston for the master cylinder to pressurize the master cylinder, and I'm in the back bleeding there. The problem is that I still wasn't getting any pressure back there. There wasn't any pressurized air or any pressurized brake fluid coming out. I was getting a trickle of brake fluid. So you know, we decided we were going to try to prime the whole system, the whole brake line on the trailer with fluid first. So you can see Gary holding a syringe full of brake fluid here. I'm in the back looking for brake fluid to come out of those bleeder nipples, and as he's pushing brake fluid through the brake line here with the syringe. So we were successful in priming the brake lines with brake fluid. Of course, there was some air that got into the lines as well, and we were aware of that, and we knew that we were going to have to ultimately bleed that air out. But at this point, we're really just confounded why we weren't getting pressure. So we reconnected the brake cylinder, or the master cylinder here, to the line after we got it primed, thinking that maybe we'll get pressure now. And so you can see Gary, you can see me in the back, you can kind of see my legs sticking out from under the trailer there, and Gary's pumping, um, building up pressure, or trying to build up pressure in that master cylinder. And I'm in the back with a bleeder screw, and the same issue. We're not getting pressure. I'm not getting any pressurized air coming out. I'm not getting any. The brake fluids coming out is just trickling out, but it's not under pressure. It should be under pressure when Gary is holding the pressure on that master cylinder. So now we want to kind of compare what's going on with Gary's trailer with the trailer here on the right of my crown line, one of my boats. And so I jack up the wheel where the disc brake is. Gary's in the front. Out, you can just barely see his foot sticking out there. He's in the front, and he's pumping or pressurizing the master cylinder. And then when I spun the wheel and he pressurized the master cylinder, the wheel stopped immediately. And so then we're switching here, and Gary's going to spin the wheel. So basically, what we did here is we demonstrated to ourselves what should happen, and with a system that's functioning properly versus what we were experiencing with Gary's trailer. So we ultimately decided that the problem was the master cylinder on Gary's trailer. So now we are waiting for the new master cylinder to arrive, and when we do, we'll shoot some more video, and hopefully our next video that we post will be the successful conclusion of the repair job and all the maintenance and repair that we've done on Gary's boat trailer. So stay tuned.